other 6 teams. Well, maybe not Zenith, but the other 5 teams I think are all in it. It's early though. It's so early.
Yeah.
We can talk all we want, but who knows what's going to happen. Tongfu starts off 1-0 against Orange.
That was
That's
fast.
pretty interesting.
It was a roll. It was a roll.
A
Mushi
stomp.
played a
Or
Timbersaw,
Orange
and Mushi did not.
Dude,
deliver
that hero
on
is so good.
Timbersaw.
I don't think that works for Orange. They're not Zenith, you know. Like they could try to be, but they can't pull that stuff off. For me, I think Orange is just better off playing more solid and stable.
Zenith doesn't even always pull that stuff off.
Yeah, but Zenith sometimes does, right?
Yeah,
So.
sometimes. I'm not too surprised by that result. Obviously, the set isn't over yet, but I think Tongfu is definitely the more consistent team compared to Orange, and yeah.
So are we talking about our next match now, or what?
Our next match is going to be IG versus Rattlesnake. I think we could take a quick break and then we'll come back and preview it.
All right.
Because I need to eat my Chick-fil-A. And also because we should probably take a break at some point. But guys, we do have some more matches coming up here today. IG versus Rattlesnake is next. Then Fnatic versus Zenith, and we've got 3 more after that. We'll be continuing to review all the results from all the streams throughout the days. We'll continue to review all the results from all the streams throughout the day. Kawa's confusing me right now, but or I'm getting confused by Kawa. But if you want to check out the other streams, there's a cool website actually, multitwitch.tv. You can have all 4 streams open at once. You can have all 4 chats open at once. So if you don't have 4 monitors, but you want to watch all 4 games, I think that's the site to go to. But if you only want to stay on one stream, then stay here with us. We'll be here all day. We'll be coming back after a short break to preview IG versus Rattlesnake, your second of 6 best of 2s. See you soon.
We
Welcome back, guys. We are about to do a little bit of a pre-show covering Rattlesnake as well as IG, the upcoming match. There's a little bit of time before the match starts. My name's Purge, of course. I'm here with Merlini, and we want to go over the teams. So this should be a pretty cool match. IG, of course, if you guys aren't very familiar with the Dota 2 scene or haven't been following it too long, IG won last year's TI in pretty convincing fashion. Very, very dominant team. They haven't looked nearly as strong lately, but I think they have a pretty good shot at taking this 2-0 versus Rattlesnake here.
Yeah. So it's defending champions IG versus Wildcard. So like it may seem like it may be like a lopsided match, but I think it's actually much closer, at least like going into the game, than our previous match. So
Yeah.
I think odds for this one are around like 70-30 in favor of IG, but I can see IG taking 2-0. They've kind of been laying it on the like back burner. We haven't seen too much of them. They were third place in the LA World Cup behind Navi and LGD China, but since then I haven't seen much of them at all.
Yeah, they're probably at least IG being currently at least best 3 of the Chinese teams, top 3 there. Rattlesnake, of course, did end up beating Quantic yesterday in a pretty convincing 3-1. They were definitely the better team there.
Yes.
And I saw a lot of potential. They had some sloppiness. Maybe it was nerves. Hopefully they can play much better versus IG here. So we'll hop into the draft, or sorry, the player cards here. First card up for Rattlesnake is going to be Icy, not to be confused with Ice Ice Ice, of course. Now that you said his name about 85 times in the solo championship, plays the 1 role there. Very fantastic hard carry player. If we hop to the next player, it's going to be Luo, who sometimes does play the mid role. We actually had Lan M playing mid, I believe, most of the games yesterday, except for like Storm safe
right.
lane. But very talented mid player there. Lan M, of course, is the guy everybody's been talking about. It's not a
He was on
miscard
fire
there.
yesterday.
Yeah, he really did play fantastic. Even his Storm Spirit game, cool skill builds. Had the benefit of not having to worry about any stuns, but yeah, did really, really well.
Snowballed with Beastmaster. That's pretty difficult.
He did great as Beastmaster as well. Kabu playing the 4 role there, so jungling heroes, or Windrunner, or Crystal Maiden, taking part in tri-lanes and doing a great job there. And the last player is going to be Seg M with the fancy little symbol that unfortunately does not show up with their software. So I think he has like
Also
a
known as
heart,
Neo.
a heart or something. Yeah, also Neo. So yep, playing the 5 role there. So that's Team Rattlesnake. This is IG. TI2 champions, Zhou, excuse me, is going to be playing the 1 role. Very talented hard carry player. Almost always makes the right decisions. His team ends up leaving him solo a lot, but he almost always does strive and do well there. We have Ferrari 430, not as dominant as he was last year, but he has been doing very well in the mid lane. Is he still in the 1v1 championship?
He is not. He unfortunately lost to Mu,
He did, okay.
but he is very famous TA.
Yeah, he is very talented. I'm so glad I didn't have to watch that game.
Me too.
TA versus TA.
That would have been awful. That's like nightmare.
Yep. So third player is going to be YYF. This is IG's offlane player. Very talented, arguably one of the best players in the entire world. Would you say something similar?
Yes, I think his Bat Rider should be up there too. His Lifestealer is just phenomenal too. As much as we saw Era's Lifestealer just go crazy, I think that if
He didn't lose? Oh, okay, so their match didn't
Oh,
end
it's
up
1-1?
finishing. So
All
he's
right.
still
So
in it, guys.
He's technically still in. I would definitely put him as top 8 solo in the world, probably top 4, or the previous guy, Ferrari. Anyways,
Everybody's favorite Blitzdot, I mean Chuan. He is from Malaysia, the one Malaysian player on the Chinese team. Very talented for position, definitely one of the best in the world at his role. Very similar to Kuro in playstyle as well.
He
Very
plays Sand King and he plays Tidehunter too. His Tidehunter was very famous at last year's CI2.
Yeah. Lots of images and memes and stuff like that. And he plays an excellent Rubik as well.
And he
not
loves
to be
eating.
underestimated. Definitely loves eating. Faith is the last player on IG. He is their drafter, I believe, in-game captain. Plays the 5 role. Extremely talented at this position. I believe there was a Ghost Gamers report for rankings of who's the best at each role, and I believe Faith hit number 1.
He's
for the
kind of
5
like
role.
a quiet support player. He doesn't have like any like, oh my gosh, this guy just made the most ridiculous play, but
Yeah.
he's a very solid player. He doesn't make that many mistakes. He's like in the right place at the right time. He just does his job and he does it well. He played Disruptor last year at TI2, and sometimes he'll throw you a curveball with the picks, but for the most part, IG, very gifted team. I say that are like highly skilled, much more higher skilled than any other teams, but can they actually utilize their potential? That is the question, and they've been in a slump as of late.
I mean, that's a team that I'm really scared to pin on a specific ranking because similar to Navi, they obviously have the talent. I mean,
Right.
if you guys don't know how their team was assembled, it was basically a power grab with money to snag all of the best Chinese Dota players and put them on one team.
And it worked.
It totally worked at TI2. I think they only lost 1 game in the group stage at TI2, and then they ended up going all the way through the winners bracket finals until they were put in losers bracket from Navi. They knocked out LGD China in the semifinals, and then they ended up beating Navi 3-1 in the absolute finals. So they have shown some slumping. We all thought they were going to dominate G1 League, and they got crushed
But
there.
to be fair, they did very, very well in the first half of the year. And I think
Yeah,
a lot of people have been
they did.
focusing on July and June results, but you can't forget about, what, September of last year until May. They were performing phenomenally through that. And granted, teams have been trying a lot harder lately in boot camping and whatnot, but still, you can never count a team like IG out.
Yeah, and people have been citing some roster issues and internal problems, things like that. If they work that out in the last month, as it seems lots of other teams have, then they could absolutely be a top 3 team here. But we just don't really know yet, so I'm really excited to check out this game. I want to see how good IG is going to be. I'm gonna say 2-0, I guess, but I'm not super confident.
I'll say 2-0. I've been wrong in all my predictions though, so take that with a
I'm
grain of salt.
usually semi-accurate. I completely failed on the last one, obviously, but I think IG has the better chance of stomping this. I'm gonna assume that they got stuff done during their boot camp. I'm more or less guessing, but that's what it all comes down to. Have they gotten back their flair from before?
Yeah, this is like the first time we've seen them in pretty much like a month's time. I think last time I saw them was at Alien Cup. We saw Rattlesnake a few days ago, so we kind of know what to expect from them because they had to bust out a lot of stops in order to beat out Quantic. Granted, it wasn't that difficult of a match for them, but they still needed to play pretty well. But IG, I have no clue what they're up to. I know they are fantastic, and they have been fantastic, but I also know that they kind of just tossed away their they just like completely dropped the ball lately too. So I don't know which IG we're going to see today, and I think they should be one of the top contenders if they're in their form.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that's going to be Luminous and LD casting that over here at the Beyond the Summit stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in, by the way. There's a lot of other games going on, so if you guys aren't interested in this one, there are many other streams. Just go check out Gosu Gamers or Join Dodo or the Twitch directory. There's plenty of ways to watch this. You can watch these in game. They are all free to watch. Tell your friends about it. I think we already hit viewer number records. We had like 600,000 total people watching the first set of matches of TI3, and our previous record, I believe, at the finals of TI2 was like 500,000, 450,000. So it's really just goes to show how big Dodo's grown, and I'm so excited to see how everything turns out in the next week. And holy crap, I can't wait to go to Seattle. I'm so excited. It's gonna be fun.
And for those of you just tuning in, it is our second match for the day. We have 6 in total. This is a Group B match between IG, former or TI2 defending champions, and Rattlesnake, the wild card. So we'll be right back.
when my heart was so easy, so easy.
More Dota. More Dota. The International 3 continues now. The prelims are well underway. We're on to our second of 6 games. I'm LD.
I'm Luminous.
And it's time for Rattlesnake versus IG. Invictus Gaming, your defending champs. Is Chuan ready to devour Seattle? Has he had his fill yet?
He has devoured the McDonald's in Seattle. Maybe.
Do you want to eat a rattlesnake, though? That's not a very tasty treat.
Chinese do eat snakes, amongst other animals.
Don't eat the tail, that's for sure. With that being said, game 1's underway. It's IG versus Rattlesnake, the first match for both teams in the tournament. Here we go. Group B for us is now underway, and Rattlesnake on the Dire side, IG on the Radiant. Your wildcard team versus your International 2 defending champions. Going into this match, if you flash backwards 3 or 4 months, anyone who said Rattlesnake would have a chance, I would have said is crazy.
Yep.
But Rattlesnake actually looked better against Quantic than I feel IG has looked in their last few matches. Granted, though, their last few matches that we saw were a month ago.
Yeah.
So much could have changed.
And I think in interviews, Chuan have said that they weren't really sure what's going on with some of their losses. They are just feeling a little bit behind in terms of strategy, in terms of play, in terms of draft. Well, they will open up this particular draft with a Batrider first pick, and that's always a good place to start.
Yeah, Rattlesnake, look at this speed draft.
Yeah.
Immediate. Lifestealer Dragon Knight. The one thing that's weird and interesting here, Lumi, are the bans from Rattlesnake, though. Because they banned... do you think these are just we want to leave 2 really good heroes in the pool bans? Or
Well, the Wisp is a non-factor, right? So let's not...
Right,
we
not
can
the
talk about
Wisp,
that,
but
yeah.
they didn't ban Bat and they didn't ban Lifestealer. Is that just so they get one of those 2, or is that because there's a reason to ban the Chen and the Tinker against IG?
Well, I mean,
what do you think?
For IG, they have first pick, so they want to leave the OP heroes. As for Rattlesnake, I mean,
if you're gonna leave 1 in, you want to leave 2 in.
Right. Yesterday against Quantic, they gave away the bat in game number 1, and this was the heroes they pick up. It was Lifestealer, or it was a safe lane, I think Shadow Fiend, right? It was a Shadow Fiend then, but now Lifestealer and Dragon Knight now. I mean, Lasso is pretty scary early on in terms of getting kills, but during that critical team fight, you have 1 Lasso and you know where you're going to lock down 2 or even Tricore, because Rattlesnake played a ton of Tricore yesterday.
Yeah, it seems like when Rattlesnake gets away with more cores, they win.
Yeah.
It seems like in general, teams that get more cores are winning.
Exactly. And today
Unless they, and when we say core, we mean a hero that like scales well with farm, that can carry a bit later on. Unless that team just gets crushed in the laning stage, the game tends to fall apart for them.
Right, normally in theory you say, all right, if you're picking 3 or 4 cores or 3 or 4 carries, you should do worse in lane. But Lifestealer, great laner, beats Pat 1v1 apparently, Era showed us.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight, very passive farmer. Like, sometimes he's going to lose the mid lane by 10 CS, but that's okay. You know, he'll just jungle and make it up a little bit later. So in Invictus game, you have to win the laning stage, and I mean convincingly. Like, they have to basically win every single lane, I think.
Let's not assume they won't. They could go for some strong heroes of their own, though. There is still a Gyrocopter in the pool. That has not been banned out. And maybe they can squeeze out another semi-carry, pretty strong farmer that can scale well. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure who else that would be except for Lifestealer, but there's probably something still lurking in the pool. Visage tri-lane against Lifestealer, I mean, problem is he's always going to have Rage. So do you actually get that big soul assumption off on him? Probably not. You're going to need to lock down a support to get a kill.
Yeah, I think I like Naga Siren quite a bit here for Invictus Gaming. The Riptide is really good against these melee strength heroes. Armor is very valuable.
Do we see what Liquid was? Liquid was, well, we're spoiling that game, I guess, but they went Dazzle Naga.
Yeah,
Very
Dazzle,
strong.
Naga, and I forgot Rubik as their last support on the tri-lane.
I think Visage Dazzle Naga would be way stronger than that, though.
I'm not sure whether Invictus Gaming has practiced Dazzle or even know that hero exists, because, you know, Chinese never play Dazzle. But hey,
Hopefully they know it exists.
Yeah.
I'd be a bit worried if they didn't.
well, obviously, but I think Visage Naga is your great course to go offensive trialing against just about anybody, because
Yeah.
you have a lot of nukes, the burst damage comes from high, and your support, your melee support, it's not really melee because you have 6 armor. If she runs at you as a Naga Siren support, you run back, because you hit her and she hit you back with Riptide.
Yeah, so... No, Naga's still available. Rattlesnake actually banned out a Templar Assassin here. I like that ban because IG, maybe they couldn't have like 2 traditional carries, but TA can dominate Dragon Knight mid until level 6 at least, and you can certainly out-TS him. It gets a little bit annoying once he's got the Poison Breath, but because I believe it does remove a fraction. I think we saw that in the previous tournament.
Yes.
So very frustrating, I guess, but still, you can win the lane early, and then if you get your other core like the Gyro, I think you can take some mid-game fights, and then you've got the initiation advantage because you've got Batrider and they don't. So smart ban on the TA, but there are still some strong solo mids for 430. There's your Queen of Pain who can do pretty well. I think if you want to crush the Dragon Knight mid, the Queen of Pain is going to be your best bet. That's available for him, and that Gyro, I keep on coming back to it. I think IG should snap it up here.
Oh, Shadow Demon pick up here for Rattlesnake. I think a month and a half ago I would said, oh, Queen of Pain, easy pick, just owns DK hard. And we know that Queen of Pain does win the matchup, but lately it hasn't felt like it wins it hard enough.